Hello and welcome back to Disney Journey. I'm retired Imagineer Jim Shull, and I've just gotten back from D23, where there were a lot of announcements made by Disney parks and experiences, and I want to get into those. However, in the interest of time, today I'm going to be focusing on just one of them, one of the announcements, which is going to be the Monsters Door coaster at the Disney Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. D23 never disappoints. And like every other D23, this one was held at the Anaheim Convention Center. In my uniform of walking shoes, water bottle, and bag, I entered D23. Donning my convention badge, I headed into the convention center by the more convenient back door. The Walt Disney Imagineering booth is always a focus of attention at every D23, and 2024 was no exception. Especially since the night before, the announcements have been made about the new projects, but this was going to be the day that the unveiling occurred. And several things caught my eye. The news that Monsters Inc. was coming to the Disney Hollywood Studios was top of my list. So pull up a chair, the ottoman, maybe a cup of tea, or something stronger as we go over the details of what I saw that day at D23. Things do change, even if they've been announced. Remember the proposal that the Haunted Mansion, when it was going to be a walkthrough, not a ride? In that spirit, I looked at the city of Monsters Inc. as portrayed here in the artwork. Now, the door coaster is an idea that is a no-brainer. It's been a famous idea, one that just seems like you want to ride it. As shown here in the artwork, the idea of a family-friendly roller coaster is one that Disney fans have been waiting for a very long time. The Pixar movie Monsters Inc. was clever world building, and this one, in Florida, promises no less. A rich, immersive environment. And not just an environment, an entire city, where guests can not just ride, but they also, eat, shop, and hang around in. We don't know the manufacturer of the coaster, but it's very likely, based upon the concept art, that it may be supplied by Vekoma, and it might be in their 400 line. Again, it's not a thrill coaster, but it does have thrilling moments. Definitely something for the family. This is a hanging coaster, so be prepared to store your loose items. The concept model yielded some information. Although again, this is a concept, not a build model. So things can and will change. Looking down into the gravity building, we can see the load station and also what appears to be a vertical lift. Also important is what's not shown. There is a station, but no evacuation stairs, no maintenance. But there are mirrors, lots and lots of mirrors. So if you own stock in a mirror company, you're about to get rich. No project has an easy journey, and so it is with Monsters Inc. One of the challenges for Monsters is its location. DHS is bound on several sides. There's World Drive, Buena Vista, and the car park for this theme park. There are several options where this could go, and the first one is the Lakeside site. This site is, it's possible, but not likely. There's a theater there, it's near Tower, and it does feed into Fantasmic, all of which kind of strikes against that site being the one for this new ride. The Animation Courtyard site is also an opportunity. This area of the park has been open to the guests since, the very beginning of, when this park was Disney MGM Studios. Today it's used, pretty much differently all the way around, but it does have still purpose, and there'd be demo involved. And so again, it's possible, but I don't think this is likely. Claiming a portion of the parking lot is also an option, and one that has a lot of advantages. I mean, certainly you're going to take some of the car park away, but the advantage is you're going to be opening up an area of the park to future expansion, not just Monsters, but beyond. And this has an advantage in a park that, again, as we said earlier, is bound by two major roads. Claiming this piece of the parking lot would allow just not for Monsters to be built, but also leave a legacy for future Imagineers to build upon. The natural pathway would be through Muppets. Now, granted, it'd be a cul-de-sac day one, but it can be worked out. And as reference, you could put the equivalent of another Galaxy's Edge in this space. Claiming Muppet Vision 3D is another option, but one that's probably the most controversial. It would basically mean that we'd be saying goodbye to Kermit, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, and those two grumpy critics. Muppet Vision 3D opened as part of the first major expansion of the Disney MGM Studios, sitting on a quiet cul-de-sac next to the parking lot. Muppet Vision 3D opened in the late 1980s, and it served to draw guests down into the area of New York Street, which was originally part of the studio tour, meaning it wasn't open, not at least opening day. Because the idea behind the Disney MGM Studios is that it was going to be a full, real, working production studio. However, this park pivoted soon away from production and toward being another theme park in Disney World. And that meant they had more guests, which meant they need more attractions. The then CEO of the Disney company, Michael Eisner, was a big champion, big supporter of Jim Henson and Kermit. And so it seemed natural that Muppet Studios would find their home there at Disney MGM Studio. And soon, construction began, with an opening in 1991. The land on which Muppet Studios was built was off of Residential Street and New York Street. And it was unique, quirky, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and sharp-edged. When I say cute, I mean cute in the way of sharp, sophisticated humor. Because the Muppets they'd deliver gags that the adults would snicker at and the children would be confused by because they just weren't quite old enough to understand the humor behind it. The whole land reflected that kind of tongue-in-cheek, snarky, little bit, and funny. I mean, pizza was even funny, although to this day, I still smile thinking about looking up in that restaurant and seeing roller skating rats overhead delivering my pizza to me. Potted trees, oversized props. It was wonderful. And it would be even more wonderful had the Muppet movie ride been built. This was going to be another expansion, having a family dark ride while you watch the Muppets making movies as only they could have. The Muppets delivered dense entertainment. It wasn't a quick gag. You had to sit there, watch it, study it, to understand what the gag really meant. In the end, Muppet Studios is land that could be transformed in this way. We only know what we've been told, but what we've been told leads to the conclusion that the time of the Muppets in Florida might be ending. That brings us to the end of this journey. However, we'll have another one soon, so keep your bag packed. As always, I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing to my channel, and also for hitting that little notification button to be notified of my next episode. Oh, and also, thank you for all the increased comments I've been getting, because I do read every one, and they guide me as my plans evolve concerning this channel. And of course, I try to answer everyone. No guarantee there, but I do read everyone. Until the next time, it's goodbye from Lost Canyon.